imagine after trying to find that special someone, at a club, bar, or in class, you finally meet someone that makes your heart sing that really romantic song from Wally. And, you guys get together, and you guys fall deeply in love, and, several years pass by, and you guys decide to get married, and you guys want to raise a family, but you guys can't. Why? Because you guys are a homosexual couple. And according to hrc.org, because the Defense of Marriage Act defines marriage as only a legal union between one man and one woman, same-sex couples, even if they are legally married in their state, will not be considered spouses for the purposes of federal law. And I believe this is truly wrong because people should be able to marry no matter should be able to marry no matter what their sexual orientation is, and which is why today I'll be going over why banning same-sex marriages denies people other civil rights and reasons why this banning does exist. First of all, let's look at why taking away the rights to marry is a civil rights issue. Because homosexual couples can't legally marry, they are denied rights they can't legally marry because they are denied rights, or in other words, privileges that pertain to marriage. And the first right concerns health care. Legally, married couples can have visitation rights, and also they are allowed to make critical health care decisions. For gays and lesbian couples, even though they have been been together for many years and are considered a couple, they don't have these rights. Just think about that person you just met and you just married. I mean, if they got in a car accident or something and they're rushed to the ER and they're on the verge of dying, you can't see that person. You're denied. Like, I've been to the emergency room a couple of times, and my friends are there, but they're not allowed because they're not considered family. Only one person, and they have to be related to you, can visit at a time. So I mean, for these couples, that's pretty drastic and pretty terrible. And yeah. So another right that is denied to these homosexual couples involves taxes and Social Security. When it comes to taxes, homosexual couples are excluded from provided health benefits to domestic partners, taxation of retirement savings, earned income tax credit involving children benefits, and estate tax. As for Social Security, according to the Human Rights Campaign website, all working Americans are eligible to receive Social Security payments, and surviving spouse caring for a deceased partner's minor child is also eligible for additional support payments. Again, for legal couples, they can get compensated for being married and having children and claiming a whole bunch of benefits. But for gay couples, who do have children, and they can't really claim anything, so they're missing out, and it's unfair because they pay all this money for Social Security. They contribute for their entire life, and when they retire, they can't claim on any of these benefits, which is again really unfair. And in addition to the healthcare tax and Social Security claims, the immigration law doesn't apply to some same-sex married couples because the U.S. immigration law doesn't allow homosexual citizens to petition for their partners to immigrate, and so the INS would either have them deported or make this couple live in fear that they will be deported. So they'd have to come to an ultimatum that they'd have to move to a country that actually recognizes and respects their relationship and orientation. Now that I've discussed why banning gay marriage is a civil rights issue, I'll be next going over a few reasons why this banning is in existence. One of the many reasons is that people believe that a man or a woman marrying is unethical and unnatural, but really they're just basing it off of the religion, and it's usually Mormons or Christians who who are, you know, against gay marriage, and that that they, you know, they try to influence others, you know, brainwash others, thinking like, oh, it's gonna affect your family, it's you know, it's really unethical, it's bad, like, you know, having another man having sex with another man, like, that's just wrong. But you know, but they don't realize that this is actually against, you know, freedom to religion. They're actually persecuting all these gay people because of their lifestyle, which they shouldn't, because there is a separation of church and state, and you know, they shouldn't be allowed to do this, but unfortunately it does exist, and which is why, like, the #1 reason why people are against for gay marriage, because it's against the religion. And another reason found on balancepolitics.org would be that gay marriage weakens the definition and respect for the institution of marriage. I've searched many websites for an explanation for this, but you know, I couldn't find any, you know, on Christian websites or anything like that. You know, and I don't think gay people, when they marry, that they actually you know, threaten the definition of marriage or anything like that, because you know, if you look at gay couples and if you know some personally, they love each other very much, and you know, they stay together for many years, decades, and they wouldn't ever, you know, leave each other. And you know, but to me, I think what actually really does harm the definition of and the definition and institution of marriage is divorce, which is, you know, which in the United States is really high. And so in conclusion, I hope that I have convinced you, if you are against gay rights, gay marriage, and that, you know, you should set aside your personal views and think of others because they want to be equal too. Thank you.
Adrian? You're not here. Okay. Well, hang on just a second then. All right, the visualization in the intro is pretty good, although it seems to me like it's the second or third time so far, maybe the 10th time today, given my earlier class, that I've heard somebody start off, imagine or visualize this, and I'm thinking, there's got to be some other way to start these speeches. But, you know, that's not your fault. That's just the situation or circumstance that's going on there, because I thought that you had a nice twist on the visualization that you were talking about. You identify your topic clearly. I do think that you lay out a structure for us to follow, and you signpost it internally pretty well. A couple of interesting things about the background, though. I think you need a standard for the question of fairness. You are arguing a value claim here. Ultimately, you're arguing that there's a policy too, but there's a big value claim based on fairness, and you need to have some standard of what is in fact fair. The notion that it's a ban, I think, is also an attempt to kind of shift the burden of proof in the argument. You want to be careful about subtly switching your prejudice from one point of view and one particular group of people to another group of people, and it seems to me like instead of advocating what you say is fair for homosexual couples, there's a little bit of religion bashing going on here, and I'd be a little hesitant to use that as a way of advancing your point of view here. I don't think that works very well. I think you want to talk about, remember we talked about when policy arguments come up, you have to discuss the question of is it better than the alternatives that are available to you? Because there are a whole bunch of things that are alternatives that are suggested to take care of all those kinds of problems. Why is marriage a better alternative than a couple who has these issues like you talked about with the hospital thing, having a power of attorney? which solves that problem immediately. Or, for instance, in drawing up a will, addresses those kinds of issues. Now the places where there are big problems are government programs and benefits and those things that are limited to particular groups. Is there a way to do that? Like in California, you've got all kinds of alternative. You've got domestic partnership agreements and civil unions. Some states have civil unions as an alternative to gay marriage. Why are those inadequate? I think you needed more discussion of that issue. All right. Thank you.